G'day everyone, Craig from the Edge Property Buyers here, just here with a short video on Queensland land tax, and obviously there's some dramatic changes coming in the new financial year. For those that aren't familiar with land tax itself, it's a state-based tax. It is based on the taxable land value of an investment property, and once again it is traditionally state-based, although these new changes incredulously change that fact. Every year you'll get a rates notice. It will tell you the land value of the property, and if it's an investment property, for example, the threshold for an individual in Queensland is $600,000. If it goes over that, then you are liable for some land tax. If it's under that, then there's no penalty. Obviously, there's different regulations for companies and trusts and self-managed super funds, which is around about 350,000 currently. And then there's also penalties for absentees or overseas owners as well. So currently, that's the normal setup. Incredulously, there's some major changes coming via the state government coming in July 1, where they're actually going to factor in your interstate properties when calculating your land tax. Now, they're not going to charge land tax on all your interstate properties, which I've seen in some articles, which misrepresents the whole process. It's actually going to, but what it'll effectively do, it will push you over the threshold. If you own a property with a land value in Queensland of $500,000, and in New South Wales you have a property with a land value of $700,000, then the total land value becomes $1.2 million, which puts you way over that threshold. Now, they calculate the whole amount there, then you divide it by the percentage of that amount taken up by the Queensland property. So it is only, just got to be clear, it is only the Queensland property that the land tax is charged on, but it effectively is pushing almost every property over the threshold. It's unless you've got something really cheap or an apartment, and even worse, the thing that isn't getting mentioned anywhere is the fact that the land tax thresholds haven't risen in Queensland since the 2007-2008 financial year, which is absolutely crazy. And the year before that it was 500,000 and it jumped up to 600,000. Now, over the last 12 months, I've seen properties with land value double. But, at the very least, I've seen, 30, 40, 50% increases in their land value. So not only are we also getting hit by the natural growth of properties because of this last boom in Queensland, but I don't know, I haven't done this video for a while since hearing this news because it's actually made me so angry. It's just crazy policy. It is going to take take landlords out of the market. I've already had calls from past clients who, not the millionaires that the state government will be trying to set up as the victims of this tax. These are first home buyers from Sydney and from Melbourne, who bought into the Queensland market because they couldn't afford to buy into in Sydney or Melbourne. They've got in, they've made a little bit of money, and then they've decided to buy in another regional area, New South Wales, Newcastle, springs to mind, and it will push them over the threshold. And these are not the millionaires. Don't get me wrong, I have had calls from clients who do have several $1 million worth of property, and then a small amount of property in Queensland, and they're just going to sell the Queensland properties. Now, it's going to take investment properties out of the market because then no doubt can be bought up by owner-occupiers, and we've got a rental crisis across all of southeast Queensland. Sunshine Coast vacancy rates are around 0.5%. Most of Brisbane in most reasonable suburbs are under 0.5% as well. The total of Brisbane, I think, is under 1% now. Now, a balanced market is 3%, and this is only going to get worse with immigration, interstate immigration, people selling investment properties. It is an absolute crazy tax. I'll put a link below so you can see some more examples from the Queensland Revenue website. It's silly policy. I know that a lot of our industry bodies are trying to get out there and really educate the market and put some pressure on the government. But if you live in Queensland, I'd suggest that you write to your state member and tell them what an idiotic policy this is, because I don't believe it's going to raise much revenue. There's going to be a lot of compliance issues because the individuals have to report all their properties in other states to Queensland Revenue, then they've got to monitor that. There are massive fines for non-compliance too. I believe well over $10,000. So it's just crazy policy in a time where we should be encouraging people to create more investment properties. People are begging for rentals at the moment all throughout southeast Queensland. I'm sure it's the same in other states. And again, we've got 200,000 immigrants coming in the next 12 months. So where are they going to live as well? It's absolutely insane policy. That's my rant. That's probably why I didn't do this video a couple of months ago, because there would have been a few expletives in there. But look, if you have any questions, drop us a line below or in the comments. Send us an email, craig@theedgebuyers.com.au. Happy to help and point you in the right direction if you're unsure about what the policy is and how it affects you. It's definitely something you should be aware of. I definitely feel that people will be looking at, if they are looking at an investment strategy of buying multiple properties, especially in Queensland, they will be looking at purchasing in different entities, whether it's husband, then wife, trusts, self-managed super funds, to try and avoid this silly tax. And the scary thing is, if Queensland gets this tax through, then all the other states are going to start doing it, and everyone's going to get double taxed because they're all looking for new revenue because of COVID and the recovery from COVID, which is just crazy. Anyway, that's my rant. Queensland land tax, the changes, they're silly, they're regressive, and yeah, if you have any questions, click the link below, and more than happy to help, and we'll point you in the right direction to get some good advice. Thanks for listening. It's Craig from The Edge Property Buyers. We'll speak to you soon. Bye.